So welcome, I am Jay LaBeouf, and this is the Real Startup Info Session. Real Startup is a 2-week experiential startup program for university-based startup teams. Our goal is to help you prepare for industry and to help you make a determination if you want to go or no go into your future startup idea. So let's talk a little bit about how this is going to work. I'm going to introduce you to the program for about 10, 15 minutes or so. We're going to have a guest, Dave Abrams, who was a student who participated in our program last year, do a little Q&A and talk about his experience. But really important to us, I'd love if you asked questions. So as we go along, use the Q&A box on your screen, type in a question, and we will get to it live or via text. Also wanted to introduce Julia Fallman. Julia?
Hey guys, my name is Julia and I'm the program manager for Real Startup.
Awesome. So with this program, you're going to get to know Julia pretty well. All right, so what are you looking at on the screen? This was our flagship inaugural program last year. It's run by Real Industry, so maybe I should start there. Real Industry is a nonprofit. It's an educational nonprofit, and the goal is to help university students understand their future career paths. And we do that specifically in the music, media, and entertainment industries. And after about 3 years of helping students figure out how they were going to work in the music technology or creative technology industries, we realized that a lot of students actually are interested in how to start a company. So how might you go about starting the next Dolby or Spotify or Avid rather than just figuring out what you would do if you worked there? So we came up with Real Startup. We worked with a lot of university students and professors to create this. And the program by me is something that it's a real passion of mine. So over the past 15 years, I've worked in the music and media technology industry. I studied at Stanford's Center for Computer Research in Music and Acoustics. I graduated, went to work at Avid Technology, working on the Pro Tools team. I was on the Pro Tools team and leading their advanced technology group for about 8.5 years. I left Avid to form a startup called called Imagine Research. Imagine Research was a artificial intelligence and music company, and we did a lot of work with Pandora, with Lucasfilm, with Skywalker Sound, and with iZotope. In fact, we did so much work with iZotope. iZotope actually acquired our company in 2012, where I then went to work on the executive team. The key takeaway here is I absolutely love the creation process, and I'm fascinated with how products go from idea all the way through shipping. And what we've assembled is an absolute dream team. I'm talking about 30 of the best companies within the music, media, and creative technology industry to help you guys as you're exploring how to create products. So our goal is to help you guys bridge the gap between where you're at in university right now and some of the world's greatest media technology companies. We work with these companies extensively throughout the year with Real Industry, and we recruit them to help support you during the summer. So some key dates that you want to know. We're looking at 2 different 2-week periods for the program, May 29th through June 8th, or June 18th through June 29th. Those are they start on Mondays, it ends on a Friday, 2 weeks later. How much does it cost for you, the struggling university student? It costs nothing. Our goal is to raise funding from our university partners, from private donors, and actually from some of these participating companies. They want to see you guys succeed because they were in your shoes too. So we take 0 equity, and it's 0 cost to you. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't participate and apply for this program. Totally free for university students. If you do apply, and we encourage you to, we want you to apply if you are willing to put in your all. So we want you guys to give us everything you have for those 2 weeks. We want you showing up every single day. We want you preparing for the meetings with C-level executives that you're going to have. If you're going to go to Pandora and work with their executive team, you can't just go in and sit down and have them entertain you. You really need to do your homework and make the most of these once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. We want you to come with a product idea in mind. So, what we really prefer, it's not just something that you've thought up before the application, but ideally, this is something that you guys have been working on as a team for at least a few weeks, a few months, and in some cases, even a few years for you PhD students out there. If you think you might want to bring a product to market and you have a team of at least 2 people, we welcome you to apply. The other thing, we do recommend that this experience is really best if you are kind of late in your academic career and about to go into industry. So if you're a junior, senior, grad student, or at least somebody on your team is in that position, we really recommend that. You're going to get the most out of it because, as Dave will indicate in a few seconds, we really feel like the network and the connections that you are going to get out of this program are some of the most valuable thing. So let me talk about what happened last year and then lead up to what we're going to do for this year. So we're going to shadow one of the teams. This is actually Dave's team called Between the Dimensions. They came to us from Berklee College of Music in specifically their Valencia, Spain campus. So on the beginning part of the program, their team came in with some notion of what they wanted to do, and they actually had already had some clients, paying for the visualization service and the media production service that they had and that they were working with. But what we did is we used something called the Business Model Canvas. So that's what you might see in the lower left. The Business Model Canvas just provides a great framework for organizing your business ideas and allowing us to all have a common language to talk about. Then from there, the goal was, okay, if you think you know what your business is, let's validate it. So validating it basically means taking a guess and figuring out what you can do to prove or disprove that guess. In this case, we introduced Dave and his team to some amazing companies who might have great opportunities to either collaborate, to sponsor, to support, or in some cases, people that had nothing to do with what Dave wanted to do, and they could kind of treat it like a total beginner's mind. So we went to such companies like Xperi and Dolby and DTS. We took them on the right-hand side to Universal Audio, one of the leading makers of audio interfaces and audio software, and we met with a ton of great industry mentors. Again, Dave can talk a little bit more about this, but our goal over this 2-week period is really to give you VIP access, hands-on work, great mentorship. We make this as experiential as possible. So, what we're going to do this year is over a 2-week period. So we've condensed it from 3 weeks down to 2 weeks to make it more accessible to you guys. Over 2 weeks, we will craft the program to ensure that you are visiting several of these companies, doing many day trips. We're going to do some on-site work with you guys, so mentoring one-on-one to help you learn everything you need to take your idea from idea all the way through shipping. And then we're going to kind of bring it all together. So the last 2 days of the program, it's kind of all of the mentors and companies coming together, and it culminates in a big presentation session on the last day, where you can proudly proclaim, are you go or are you no go? So that gives a bit of a feel of what we're going to do this year. 2 weeks in the San Francisco Bay Area. We're going to meet up with amazing companies like Dolby, Universal Audio, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube. We'll be working with iZotope, Twitter, so many cool companies. And in fact, we're going to work with you guys to figure out who you want to work with for this year's program. All right, that's enough talking for now. Dave, how are you doing?
Hey, Jay. I'm doing great.
Awesome. It's really good to connect. So everybody, I'd like to introduce Dave Abrams. Dave is the guy featured right there. Here we are in the lobby of Universal Audio after taking some photos with some of UA's Grammys and also taking a tour of the UA facilities. We got to sit down, work with one of UA's founders, Universal Audio's founders, to talk about things. And I'm hoping maybe Julia, you and Dave can just kind of talk a little bit about the experience in 2017.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Julia.
How's it going? Let's see. I would love to hear from you what you thought one of the most valuable parts of the program was last year for your team.
So there's two things that I think are really important to talk about, things that I really took away. The first is the ability to see the business as a go, no-go investment in your resources. That's like basically your time, and the ability to see like an idea as a business and the business as this commitment that you're either going to do or you're not going to do, because you only have so many hours in the day. You are either going to invest it in something you really believe in or you shouldn't, and put it on the back burner and do something that's going to be better for you, and so that's something that I really big time took away from this program, is that if you're not going to do it, then don't, and do something you really want to do. And so that sort of reminded me of this like quote that I see on the internet all the time by Bruce Lee. It's like it's not about what you add to your day, it's about what you remove in shipping and essential in your life. And so this really, I feel like, fed into that. The second most valuable thing I think was if you don't know what you don't know, then it's really hard to know. And so the hardest thing to do is when you don't know what you're doing at all, to know who to talk to know where to go. You don't really know. So the next easiest thing would be if you kind of know who to talk to, but you can't get there, then you can sort of weasel your way into having a conversation. But what Real Startup did was they were like, this is who you should talk to, and we've set this up for you. It's the best, because we were interested in a lot of content stuff, a lot of VR stuff, and boom, day one we had all these names, the people, the hard hitters in the industry that we didn't know ahead of time, and then we formed these great relationships with them all in a couple of weeks. It was amazing. So yeah, those were my biggest takeaways.
Awesome. Thank you. Those are some really good quotes. Let's see. So where is your company today? What are you guys all up to?
Okay. So there were 4 of us, and 3 of 4 are searching for day jobs because you still have to pay for food and rent.
Right.
So I'm employed in another startup that's unrelated. When we left, our idea was we were sort of torn in 3 directions, and they all kind of aligned with each other, but we hadn't really 100%, I guess you could say, our business model canvas still had some refining that we could have done at the end. So we were a go, and our idea was threefold. It was, 1, we're going to do planetarium content, we're going to do VR content, and we're going to do VJ content. And since then, we talk weekly, but we're all geographically scattered. And we decided that planetarium content and VR content right now for us were no-goes, and VJ content is still a go. So we're generating content now in Austin, and we're shopping around some of our content and some of our sculptures in Austin. But I guess we've stopped iterating business model canvases, which isn't a good, it's not a healthy indicator. But it's like you you have to choose where to invest your time. And for them, they, for all of us right now, we just have to make sure that we get food on the table right now. So.
Right. Yeah, that's totally fair. So even with your team having disbanded, do you think that, or maybe you could share with us a way or two in which Real Industry changed your career path or, kind of shifted your trajectory?
Yeah. So this goes back to the part where you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
I'd had a career going and I left it and I went to Berkeley and started doing this music tech stuff. And my whole thing was I was going to start a company doing, music tech and or content, something. And I didn't really know what the industry was like. 100%. And so I went to Palo Alto and we did this 3-year course or a 3-week course. And during that time I found, having talked to people and found out what businesses work, what other people have recommended, that that maybe what it was going to take to be in a music tech startup for me wasn't right for me right now. And so instead of spending maybe 3 years finding that out, I learned it in 3 weeks. So now now I'm like the head of research and development for this company, this other startup. And actually it turns out that the founder of that startup, he had taken a Stanford class with similar language and stuff. So we have the same vocabulary when it comes to, talking about the business and what, could be done and being empowered in it and everything. So I was, going down this one path, and then within 3 weeks, I learned so much that I was like, actually, I want to go like that, and here I am.
Totally. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Do you still have relationships with the mentors and industry leaders that you met at the program?
So we still talk to Paul Sinelli sometimes. You know what? It's really tough though, because all of our amazing contacts were in Palo Alto, and none of us are located in Palo Alto. But there are some people who I was keeping an eye out for at NAMM and CES. I should have hit them up, but I didn't. So I was talking to Matt, one of the other guys, and we have some email combos that had reached sort of a dead end, and we're gonna start that up again. Just keeping the finger on the pulse, because you never know. When one of those guys lands a job and suddenly we have time and space in our lives and we see it as a viable option again, it's still there. Still in
Definitely. It. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Dave. We really appreciate it. It's really, really useful insight. I will turn it back to you, Jay, to field any questions that anybody might have.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, thank you. And I'd welcome you to stick around. And also, if you guys have questions, to get Dave's perspective as somebody, that took Real Startup last year, feel free to hit him up in the Q&A section. So one of the questions we had coming in is, who will pay for our stay? Is there any scholarship? So basically this question, while we say that there's no cost to you, the university student or recent grad, to apply, we do our best to cover, the cost of the program, but it is totally up to you to cover all of your kind of real world costs. So wherever you're going to stay when you're in the Bay Area, that's up to you. Your travel to the Bay Area, your meals, things like that. So think of it as, we'll provide the education and the insane network of people. You just bring your sleeping supplies and be able to get to where we need to get to whenever you need to get there. And Dave, you did an Airbnb, is that right? With all the guys?
Yeah, we had a great time, actually.
Awesome.
It was right in Palo Alto. It was pretty affordable, and it was our workstation. We had this is great. This is a great experience. We had our business model canvases on the wall. We had like a whole wall and a half just plastered and Post-it notes the whole time. Yeah, it was a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, it's something that we do ask for everybody to be in the Bay Area that whole time. Participating remotely, or even for part of the program, you're going to miss out on a lot. A lot of these relationships you develop in person by sharing meals and coffee with people and standing around whiteboards with people. So that's why we ask everybody to come to Silicon Valley, come to Stanford, come to San Francisco. We'll take care of you. So a couple more teams, a couple more questions. How do we select teams? What is the criteria? So what I'm looking for, we're looking, I'll go through the obvious. Team means 2 or more people. We try to find people that are active university students. To an extent, we can work with a recent grad. You just have to explain how recent of a grad you are, because that kind of ties into the university partnerships and the mentorships that we have. What I'm most looking for, though, is I am looking for, I'm looking to find teams that they have an idea at the music, media, and entertainment technology space. So, that's something that is pretty important. I know there's one of you that wrote in that says, you have a electric vehicle reservation app idea. And I think that's awesome, and it's a great space. But Real Startup, basically, we would be of no help to you guys, because all of our connections and all of our expertise is in the music, media, VR, gaming, consumer electronics industry. We know nobody from the autonomous vehicles industry, really have very weak connections in electric vehicle charging stations. There's probably some great programs out there, but what we can help you with, and who we're most excited to work with, are teams that have innovative ideas and that are considering pursuing a startup and developing a startup in that space. Okay. Some other questions. Why the emphasis on teams? And then another one was, why should we be in a team of 2? What if we cannot find a teammate? So this is something that is kind of core to entrepreneurship. There are almost no startups of 1. If you're a startup of 1, you are a consultant. Entrepreneurship is a very difficult thing to do. And as Dave could attest, you need people to bounce ideas off of. You need a support system. You need people that are going to be there late at night when you are having a crisis about how to launch your product. You can't do that as a solo founder. So we encourage you, this could be a great excuse for you to pull together a team of people and fellow students, convince them to come onto your project idea and say, hey guys, I've got this once in a lifetime opportunity in Silicon Valley. You need to be a part of it. Sell them on your vision. And now congratulations, you are now the CEO, because you are bringing people and rallying them around your vision. So we cannot make any exceptions to the team of 2 rule. And honestly, there's no maximum size on it. If you have any additional questions, ask me or Julia afterwards. Okay, awesome. My screen is blowing up with questions, which is very cool. So is there a way to work with other people on their idea as a team member? So the way I kind of look at this question is, if you want to collaborate, yeah, I guess if you are searching for a founder, Julie and I will talk about ways that we can maybe get you guys connected. It's something we hadn't thought of before, but I would welcome it.
Yeah, great questions.
Cool. All right. Let's see. How do I apply for the program? Well, another fantastic question. So what you're going to want to do to apply for the program, and this is kind of one of your next steps, apply today. So you will go to realindustry.org. We're also going to send it out as a follow-up email. So those of you that are attending today, we'll send a follow-up email to today's talk. You'll see this convenient banner, Real Startup Applications are due, but under Real Startup 2018 application, click on there and enter everything here that we need. Basically, all we need from you is a short essay about why you're applying. We want a 3-minute video pitch that answers these questions. Please answer every single question. And for those of you that are going to write me and tell me it's impossible for me to do this in 3 minutes, this is kind of exercise number 1. If you can't articulate these 3 things or these 5 things in a 3-minute video, just keep doing it, keep cutting the irrelevant stuff, keep doing it over and over, and eventually you'll get it down to 3 minutes. And let us know as much as you can about yourselves, your backgrounds, and help us get to know you. This is going to be a pretty intense but very rewarding experience. Okay. Other questions? Let's see. We've got Sean from Full Sail University. What's going on, Sean? He is looking more on the industry mentor side of what is offered. And again, will this be offered again? So while we are still putting together the exact company list, a great way you could go about this is on the Real Industry website under the 2017 Real Startup description. It goes through some of the companies that were involved in our 2017 cohort. Those companies included Pandora, Sonos, Bose, Autodesk, Universal Audio, Warner Music Group, Adobe, Isotope, Twitter. We could keep going. Zeitgeist, Music Management. I'd find it hard if you could tell me a company that we can't connect you to. We have a core group of companies that are involved every year, and my goal is to bring in companies that are uniquely suited to what you can do. So, Sean, if there's a specific company you guys are interested in and that's a deal breaker, let me know. And as far as if this is going to be offered again, we do this once a year. It is a total butt kicker in terms of how long it is to coordinate. So yeah, we look forward to doing that. We've got a message coming in for Dave. A question to you. Can you tell how much it cost your team to attend last year in terms of food, and travel? So you were in town for 3 weeks. You want to take a guess on this?
Yeah, let me think. Okay, so we were pretty resourceful. We did a lot of, we stayed near a Whole Foods, so we would go there and buy groceries, and I'd cook a bunch of rice and sandwiches and stuff. One of our team members, Tejas, he actually had his car in town, so we didn't have to pay for transportation. And actually, we were 45 minutes or so away from Karma, so I walked a couple times just because it was a beautiful walk through the campus. It's it's really nice. I didn't know it was that nice. It's beautiful. And to stay, it was probably a couple $100 per person for the 3 weeks, but I don't remember. You'd have to go on Airbnb and scope out the situation.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Dave. All right. Let's see. Do you need to have an idea to start with? And how important of that is it in the selection of the application? So with that, 100%, yes. You need not only an idea, but we actually ask if you can actually take it a little further. So let's say today you're you need an idea. Find something that you've been working on and that you actually could imagine leaving university for, or doing a startup and dedicating years of your life to pursuing. If you don't have an idea in that space, it might be tough to dedicate 2 weeks because, I mean, this is 2 weeks full time of your life talking to amazing industry people about one topic. So you definitely want to be passionate about the idea. There could be other people that you might want to rally with in order to work together on it. In terms of, you know, how important the idea is to the application process, we certainly want to see something that we can help you with, and something that's kind of well thought out. So while we're not looking for something that's truly innovative and world changing, I'm also hoping that you've done your homework. So if you show me that you're interested in doing an iPad sheet music application, and there's already 400 million other iPad sheet music applications out there, if you can't explain to us why your solution and your product is unique and different, it doesn't show us that you've done your homework. All right. Does a real startup collaborate with local entertainment, media, performing arts, theater? Cindy, I'd want to know a little bit more about that. Maybe I'll get back to you afterwards to find out specifically what you mean. But if you're coming into the area, I want to create those connections for you. Awesome. Can you put me in contact with companies that do online marketing? Yes. Now, the asterisk there is we do not just make introductions just to get it done. Part of the program is you earn your way towards bigger and better accomplishments. So, you know, in the first day or two of the program, we're going to be working with you on your business model canvases pretty extensively and getting you prepared to meet with these bigger companies. And as the program progresses, you meet with cooler and cooler companies. If we have other questions after this webinar, should we write an email to you, or do we have a different means that we prefer for contact? Julia, you want to take that one?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions after the webinar, please shoot them my way. I will be your best resource moving forward. And I will be reaching out to you guys afterwards to follow up, but my email is julia@realindustry.org. And again, you'll be getting a follow-up email from me, but please, any questions you have, send them my way. I would love to answer them and chat with you.
Awesome. And, you know, we really want to make this custom. So we're going to learn as much about you guys from your applications as possible. And the way the process works, applications are due on March 1st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. We're going to review those as fast as possible, probably within a couple of days. And our goal is to get back to you, either notifying you that, you know, I'm sorry, it's not a fit, or to reach out and schedule a Zoom call, just kind of like this, so we can all kind of get to know each other and assess if there really is a good fit. We're going to get back to you within a week to let you know what's going on, because you guys have very busy lives. You have a lot going on, and we want to give you some clarity. Let's see, just reviewing some of the other, yes, we accept international students. Now, we will help you however we can, you know, in order to get entry into the country. It's something that, you know, we haven't done before, but there's no reason, there's nothing that's saying that we're only working with US universities. Looking through the rest of the questions, I think I've got most of them. How many teams applied last year? So last year was really interesting. We actually recruited teams last year. We tried to find teams that were really good fits and that were willing to learn with us. Because just as you guys are going to be learning from industry mentors, we wanted teams that could help give us real-time feedback as we went. Awesome. All right, one more question that I think I might want to answer. Can my team consist of one student and one non-student person, such as a senior scientist? Yes. We want to do this as real world as possible. So real world would mean some students could be active students and some are graduates. I actually have a team that's emailing me where one of you is a professor, another is a PhD student, and another is an undergraduate student. That's perfect. And I think you guys would learn a lot in that situation. So as long as someone on your team is a university student or a very recent graduate, I think we can make that work. And if you have specific questions, I totally encourage you to reach out to Julia or myself, and we will totally help you answer this. Okay. How many students are we going to accept? We are actually looking at it as like a number of teams. So the goal this year would be around 5, maybe 6 teams. We want to keep it small. We want to keep it intimate, and we want to design a program around what helps you, your teams, and your companies succeed and learn the most. So that's why we don't have ambitions to grow this really huge. We want to keep it small and give you something really high quality. All right, so for everybody else who has asked questions, thank you all. This is having 22 questions, 26 questions is pretty awesome. And I'm pretty thrilled with all of you that have showed up today. So again, your call to action, if you need any more information, if you have any more questions, reach out to Julia or myself. Just email us. Totally happy to help you out. We're going to send you a follow-up right after this, just sharing our contact information. And you get about a week. Your short and sweet application is due on March 1st. Anything else, any final words, Julia or Dave, you'd like to add?
No, that was great. Thanks for leading that, Jay. And I look forward to talking to all of you guys, and we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Dave?
Thanks, Jay. It's great to see you again. And I look forward to dialing into the final conclusion at the end. I can't wait to see what these people do.
I know, me too. Woo. It's going to be it's always the most exciting part. Thank you all for joining. Really appreciate your time. And thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Scott. Thanks for sending in those little chat questions. I'll follow up with all of you. Some of you had questions that are a little long to answer here, so I'll follow up with you individually. All right. Thanks all. Have a great night wherever you are.